I just finished his Holiday Crush. I thought it was really cute. It's about this guy who's coming back to his hometown for Christmas, and his brother, or I guess he was already there. Yeah. So the one guy's brother is going through a divorce. His wife like left him and his kids, and so the kids really wanted him to come because they weren't going to have his mother there. So they were like, "Can we please have him come?" So he came, and then he winds up falling in love with his older brother's best friend, who works in New York as a lawyer. So the guy keeps kind of sticking around longer than what he's supposed to because they're really into each other. This one is a romance. It does have some erotic scenes, but I definitely would not classify this one as erotic, even though it is descriptive. But it's not like the other book I told you about, like that's erotic. But anyway, yeah, so it's another like cute gay romance and it's a holiday romance. So I just thought it was good. There's not really much I can say about this book. I didn't get the level of emotional resonance that I wanted to get with the story, and so I probably would rate it like a 3 star. It was a solid, good book. I don't really have any complaints. I just wish I would have felt more while reading it. I like books to make me cry, make me laugh, or get ooey gooeys, and I liked the story, but it didn't do that. So, but anyway, yeah, I'd still say if you're looking for a cute gay romance, you might enjoy it. That's really all I have to say about this one, unfortunately. But it is a author with a Z in their name. Like, I can't remember if it was the last name or the first name. You can see because I've got the cover up for you. But, so I get to check that off. And then I guess I'll start listening to the middle grades book for the other letter, and then I will almost be done with the alphabet challenge. And I finished Y earlier today, so I think I only have like one letter left to do. So I'm excited about that. Right now, I'm currently working on a spreadsheet, and I've been working on it all day since I got up. So we're going on like 4 hours now that I've been working on this spreadsheet. I was inspired by Becca in the Books, the spreadsheet that she was using where she tracks her series. So I thought I would do that as well because I'm really bad about not finishing series, but I also have really bad distinctions of time. In the moment, my time perception is really good. Like I could be like, oh, just kind of like look around and be like, I think it's this time. And sometimes I'll be like within a 5-minute range of what time it actually is in the day, which is really cool. But when it comes to past events, I have like no sense of time whatsoever. So I'm seeing on here some of these books that I thought I'd read just a couple of years ago. I'd read them in 2016. So I was like, man, I have series I started in 2016 that I had every intention of continuing and I just never did. So this is going to be cool, and I'm kind of doing it the same way that she was doing it with her spreadsheet, so I have a different color for every year. So I finished another book. I actually finished it a while ago, and I have been working on this spreadsheet. Oh my gosh. I think I started working on it at 3, and it is now 10:40, and I've been working on it nonstop. Nonstop. Like 7.5 hours. Oh my gosh. But I did listen to an entire audiobook while doing this spreadsheet, and it was 320 pages. So yeah, the Adventurers Guild, honestly, it just went in one ear and out the other the entire time. And I could tell that it was adventurous and that it was fun and that it would be perfect for a middle grades reader. But it was also told like where the story is being told to you, so like third person. And it felt older than what it was at the same time, even though it was a middle grades because of that style. And I like first person. I'll just be honest. I like first person present tense. With romances, it doesn't really matter necessarily how it's written because you're still going to be in the characters' heads. But yeah, I don't feel attached to the characters a lot of the times when it's not in first person. And so yeah, I didn't get any attachment to it at all, but also I was multitasking. So I feel like it's probably a really fun book for people if they're paying closer attention. But I was doing a multitasking task while reading his Holiday Crush, and I don't feel like I missed any of the content from that. A few things I probably kind of skimmed over, but it's fine. And then the Haru to Aiden and Aiden to Haru, I didn't miss a word, even though I was doing puzzles. But I know puzzles versus inputting words into a computer might require a little bit more cognitive functioning because I'm having to spell, and then I'm like looking from one screen to the other. I'm checking the series, see how many books are in it, which ones have I read, what year did I read them. It's a big mess. I think I'm pretty much done for the night as far as reading goes. I'm kind of like pooped out. But yeah, so I've read 13 books in less than 4 days, because it'll be 4 days tomorrow at like 11 o'clock. So in 12 more hours, it'll be 4 days. So it's been 3.5 days. I've read 13 books, a total of 2,577 pages. You can see how that breaks down here. Some of the stories were very short. Some of them were average length novels. So, I only got my butt back in the gym, go me, after like 2 months. And yeah, I am nasty now. I'm so nasty. So I'm going to go get my butt in the shower. And then I might try to figure out plans for the week. I found out the job that I thought I wasn't going to qualify for because I was not meeting standards. I still graduated, so that means I do have some income. And I'm already looking at another job too that has benefits and everything. So I'm excited about that. But anyway, it's shower time. But as far as the conclusion of my 300 hours has been met. I read 13 books, and I am a couple hours into the second book in the Fable series, so did pretty well, and I think I'm officially out of my reading slump. Yay! Hello! It's been quite a few days since I've updated you on the progress of my 24 books in 24 days, but I finally finished the 14th book, which was Namesake by Adrienne Young. This one is 368 pages, which has brought us to almost 3,000 pages for the challenge. So I'm really excited about that. I've already passed my 50,000 pages for the year goal. So now I'm just trying to get to that 200 books. This is the second book in the Fable series. It is definitely action-packed. It was almost hard to keep up with. There was so much action going on, but I really did enjoy it. I'm looking forward to the romance developing further in future books. We do have a prequel, Saint, that's going to come out like November 2023, so I'm excited to learn more about her dad. We also get to learn more about him in this second book and kind of the reasons why he left Fable behind that weren't that he just didn't love her. It goes a lot deeper than that. So I really enjoyed getting to see those reasons in this second book. I also liked getting to see how much Fable was willing to fight for Saint, even though Saint had abandoned her as a child. She still kind of had this like loyalty to him. But I also liked seeing Wes and how loyal he was to her, as well as the rest of the crew. And even when she's making poor decisions that affect their lives, they still like her. So it kind of just shows you like they kind of have like this family bond where it's like unconditional love even when they don't agree with what you're doing. I also really liked the sister. I liked how she stands up for herself and she's like, hey, this isn't right. I'm not going to take this bull crap anymore after this mission. Like, I'm out. And so you get to see that. I do want to see more of the reasons why Wes and her are together, because I just didn't really get to see the start of this romance slowly develop in a way to where I would understand it. It was more so like, hey, I fell in love with you before I met you type deal. And just because she's like a strong character, a strong girl. And I'm like, okay, I need more basis than that because, you know, lots of women are that way. Your sister is that way. You're not in love with her. So like, what makes Fable special to you? I feel like I need more of that to really, really hardcore ship the romance, because I'm shipping it because I like both of the characters, but it's not giving me any ooey gooey stomach flips because there's no There's no basis to it. Like, they can be kissing or whatever, but that ain't gonna do nothing because I don't know why. I'm not getting the romantic side of what makes them a good couple, if that makes sense. They are making these really big decisions that involve other people, and they're making it based off of their love for each other, but I'm not getting why they're that strongly motivated when I'm not seeing the basis of the romance. So I need to see more of why the romance developed in the first place, because I'm just not getting it. I'm just not getting it. And romance is one of my favorite elements in books, so I would like to get it, because that's going to bring the book from a 4-star to a 5-star. But if it doesn't happen, it's just going to stay as a 4-star, because I need more from the romance. But anyway, I still really enjoy it. I think they're a cute couple. And I will be continuing with the third book. And also Saint, which is a prequel novel, is going to come out at the end of 2023. So I'm excited about that as well. So yeah, that's really all I can say about Namesake as far as my plans go to continue the 24 books in 24 days, which is a continuation of the, what was it? Like 11 books in 3 days video that I put out. So this is kind of like the part 2 to that, but it's all been under the umbrella of the 24 books in 24 days. So I've got 10 books left. I found 4 short stories that are like prequel shorts or companion shorts to series that I've already completed, other than those editions, that were free. So I was able to download them just like on my computer, because the authors had made them free on their blogs. It's not even sad, okay? It's not even sad. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm reading After the Bridge, and I am 13 pages of 17 in. And it's like, I can't even like blink, because I'm like so into it. Just like, yeah, I just really like it. I really like it. It's so good. Oh my gosh. Like, they are so in love with each other. So I was right. I suspected that it would be an erotic scene, and it is, but it's like, it's not about what they're doing. It's about like all the emotions that they're having, and like that's why I started to cry, because it's like they loved each other for so long and they couldn't be together, and now they can, and it's really pretty, and I want to finish it. But it's so good. If you like the Clockwork series, The Infernal Devices, then you need to read After the Bridge, because you're gonna love it, especially if you like Jim. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've read that series, but this is really good. This is really good. So I'm gonna finish it, but I had to stop and show you that it made me cry, because that doesn't happen all the time. So like, when I cry in a book, it's like, okay, you're 6 stars. 6 stars! And with Storygraph, you can actually rate stuff like 5.75. So yeah, this is gonna get a 5.75, and it's gonna go on my favorites list for the year. Out of 200 books, it's gonna get somewhere on that list. So yeah, I'll be right back. So I kept reading a little bit, and he pulls back and he's like, "Are you alright?" Because she's crying. And I'm like, yeah, I feel you, girl. I feel you. That happens sometimes. I always tell my husband, tears are a good sign. It means that there's an emotional connection that's happening at the same time that's like so deep that you cry. And that's not every single time, but when there's like when there's the emotional connection there at the same time that intimate stuff is happening, there will be tears. They're not sad tears. It's just like that is like the ultimate connection, and it makes you cry sometimes. So that's what's happening to Tessa. I finished it. Ah! It was so cute. It was so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes. I'm really glad I read that. That was amazing. Oh, now I actually want to like reread the trilogy. I just thought the trilogy was like okay when I read it the first time. But now I think I would like it more. But I also would listen to it in audiobook, and I really think that with some authors, it's better when you read it physically because there's just so much detail and there's like things that you will miss when you listen to the audio. And I feel like Cassandra Clare, that might be the case with her because I've enjoyed all of the ones that I've read physically, but then when I've switched over to audiobooks, I've just kind of liked them okay. Like they've been 2 stars or 3 stars. And I feel like if I read them physically, they would be at least 4 stars. So yeah, this was amazing. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I kind of want to like reread The Infernal Devices now. And if I told my best friend that, she would like throw a parade. Because she loves Cassandra Clare books. Yeah, it was very well written too. It was very well written. So, I don't know when she wrote this because it had to have been several books in because it was better than her usual writing from some of her earlier stuff. So, yeah, it was really, really exceptional. And I am a harsh critic at times. So, I really, really, really liked it. So I think if you like The Infernal Devices, you should definitely check it out. But yeah, I read that in one sitting. Oh my gosh, it was so good. So it was 30 document pages, not 30 document, it was 17 document pages. So generally you can get 2 book pages out of a copy page, which makes sense because if you think about it, like this is the size of the paper, and then if you do it like this, it's the size of a book. So you get 2 pages out of 1. See? So yeah, I'm gonna write it down as being 34 pages. Well, 1 page was just a picture, so I'm gonna do like 32 pages for the page length. But so good, such a short story, but so good. Yeah, I loved it. It was amazing. Okay, so I finished Riden's chapter, and it really is just 1 chapter. It's like the first chapter of the daughter of the Pirate King, but in Riden's perspective. So that's all it is. Definitely don't regret reading it. I enjoyed it, but I would not like buy another version of the book just to read that. It's very short. It's like 12 book pages. Very, very small. But it's good. It's good. So, yeah, I really liked the series, so it was nice to have something like a little extra, but I feel like we kind of already knew all of those things as far as like what was going on through his head when we read the actual book that wasn't in his perspective, so I didn't feel like it really added much. You're not missing out on anything, but it was fun, so that's really all I have to say about Ryden's chapter. My pizza is done. I just cooked a whole pizza. I cut it up funky because I'd started to cut it and it didn't go the way I wanted it, so I made it more square. But anyway, so I'm going to eat that, and I'm going to find something to watch on Apple TV because I have Apple TV this month because I forgot to cancel the free trial thing. So I got another month that I paid for, so I'm going to watch something on there. And then I will get back to reading, and I also have some house cleaning to do, so that's what I'm gonna do. Bye. I just finished it. Oh man, it was the COVID 128, whatever it's called, by Marissa Meyer, and it is about like the pandemic, but it's set in the Lunar Chronicles world, and they're all kind of stuck on a ship, and you get to see all the couples and kind of how they handle the pandemic, and it was just like really cute. It was a fun extra, so I liked it. There's not much to say about it. It was very, very short, so it was only 10 pages long, so like 4,200 words. So that'd be like maybe 20 book pages, if that. And yeah, I liked it. I liked it. And I still haven't done any house cleaning. It's 5 o'clock, but look how dark it is. Like pitch black. I need to bring my dog in because it was not like that a couple of minutes ago, and I wanted him to enjoy every last minute of sunshine that he could because he doesn't like being inside. He is very much so an outside dog lover until it's nighttime and he's ready to go to bed. Then he wants to be inside where it's warm and cozy. But when it's bright and there's things going on outside, he wants to be where the action is at. So I'm going to go get him, then I'm going to finish that. I also started watching El Defo, which is it was a graphic novel, like middle grade graphic novel about a child who's deaf, and there's a adaptation of it on Apple TV. So I've been watching that. It was really good, and I ate the whole pizza, y'all. I hadn't had breakfast or anything, so it was like 4 o'clock, and I hadn't eaten a single thing, so I devoured it. But anyway, I'm gonna go get my doggy and read, and then I'm probably gonna find a different audiobook that's not Wuthering Heights to do my cleaning with. I did it. I finished Departure. So, yeah, it just kind of, like, rooted me back in the beginning of the story and what, like, the regular conflict was as far as herself. And I forgot, like, how much she suffers with mental illness and PTSD and, like, visions of what happened when her mother died because she was there and she thought the mother got murdered. And everyone else was like, no, it wasn't a murder, it was just an accident. And I realized how many things I've already forgotten, so I could actually reread that series and experience it anew. I know kind of what the major red herring was, but I don't remember how it all aligned. And then I remember who, like, the ultimate villain is as well, but I also don't remember exactly how that worked out either. So there's, like, some major details that I've forgotten, which means that I could read that series again as if it was, like, the first time. Because I read it prior to 2015, so it was probably, like, 2013, 2014 that I read it. So, yeah, it's been a while. Man, even saying that, like, that doesn't seem like so far away, but it's almost been 10 years. It's like 8 years ago. I think I read the books as they were coming out. And there was 3 of them. So it would have been 3 years that they were being published. But, yeah. So, Allie Carter is a really good writer. So I enjoyed this short little prequel. And, yeah, it just reminds me that I like the series. And I like Allie Carter. So, I really want to finish the Gallagher Girls series as well. Because I read, like, the first 4 books, I think. And I think there might be, like, 7. I own them all. So, I was reading them. She only had the first 2 books out. And I went to a Scholastics fair. And I got 2 of the books. The first 2 books. And then I had to wait for the other ones to come out. And by the time the next one had come out or whatever, like, as far as, I don't know. Basically, I went into the military at some point, and that's when I had stopped reading them. So I would buy them, pre-order them, to get, like, shipped to the house or whatever while I was on deployment. And then when I got back, I just never continued because I think I just thought, well, I'll just reread everything. So I don't actually remember which book I left off on. So I know for sure I read, like, the first 4, but I might have also read the 5th one. So I just got a little confused. So it's been my plan to reread the series. I absolutely loved it. Book 1 is really good. And, yeah. So, but anyway, that means I've done 195 stories this year. I finished a couple of stories, so now I'm going to tell you about them. This whole, like, thing, other than, I guess, the first book, Namesake, has all been, like, short stories and novellas, and then I have a manga on here that I'm going to talk about. But, yeah, this one's not so much vlog style. I'm just kind of catching you up because I read several basically in 24 hours. So I'm going to tell you about all of those. First off, we have Brooke. This one is part of the Under the Never Sky series by Veronica Rossi. Absolutely loved this. I was like, I don't really want to get into her head, considering I only want to picture Perry with Arya. So I was like, she's kind of like complaining and everything that their relationship didn't work out. And I'm like, I don't want to hear all that. I don't really care about you. But anyway, I wound up definitely becoming a Brooke fan after doing that story. And yeah, so it was interesting, I'll tell you that much. It just has to do with her kind of like trying to move on and also seeing things for how they really were and not how she wanted them to be. That's all I can say, non-spoiler. Next up, I have Roar and Livy. This is when Livy finds out that her older brother has basically sold her off to a bloodlord to marry so that they can get food for their community. That's what this story is about. And the thing is that Livy is already in love with this guy named Roar. And so, of course, both of them are heartbroken. And they're like, what are we going to do? Are we going to escape? He might come after you and try to kill you if we escape. And this other bloodlord is known as being even worse than your brother. So, like, I don't know what to do here. And so they're traveling through the wastelands and everything. And there's, like, some action-packed scenes in there as well. And it's heartfelt. So, yeah, that's that. And that means I finished up that series completely. But I saw that the author is planning to add more books. So it's been, like, over a decade since the first book came out. So now she's going to revisit it, and she talked about multiple books. So I don't know if it's going to follow Perry and Arya now that they're all grown up, or if it's going to be a completely different, like, spin-off series somehow. I don't know. But I absolutely loved that series, so I am ready for more. It worked for the Shatter Me series to continue it, so maybe it'll do well to give this series that I feel like is very underhyped a little more life. Then I've got an introduction to Sappho. So I needed a book written by someone with the first name that started with X. And I also wanted one that was free. That was either an audiobook or a short story. So this is the first one that I found that met that criteria. It's only 12 pages long. This one is a, like, lesbian erotica. However, it is written by a man, and it very much so seems like a porno for the male enjoyment. Some of the explanations didn't make any sense. Some of the physical stuff that he mentioned about women was just inaccurate, and I was like, dude, what in the world? And there was a lot of women who rated this highly and just thought that it was amazing, and I was like, no, it was gross and uncomfortable at times, because, like, one of the girls is clearly straight, and she's being put into the situation where, like, she wants to learn more, and then this other girl is kind of taking advantage of the fact that she's drunk, because she literally tells her, hey, you might as well take your shot now, because I would never do this sober. And I'm like, if someone tells you that, then that's not enthusiastic consent. It's telling you, hey, if I was in my right mind, I'm not interested in this. That's the whole point of not sleeping with someone when you've had alcohol, is the fact that you can regret it the next day. So just, if someone's had alcohol, just don't go there with them. I'm just like, you know, people can change their mind at any point, and if they're intoxicated, it's going to be harder for them to maybe vocalize what they're feeling. But we do get the internal side of this character, and it's very clear that she's not comfortable with the situation. So even though she is, like, physically responsive and, like, she is contributing to the acts, at the same time in her head, she's, like, trying to forget the fact that she's doing them with a woman. And it just makes her uncomfortable by the fact that she's getting, like, receiving and also giving pleasure to a woman, because she's straight. She's clearly straight. So it's not like someone trying to explore a side of themselves that they're already aware of, that they just haven't kind of, like, followed through on for whatever reason. It's like, no, this woman is, like, legit straight. She's a bit drunk. And then this other woman who uses the term Like she says she basically became lesbian overnight. And I'm like, dude, this goes against everything that people in the LGBT community have been telling people forever, which is that you don't just become it, you always were. Even if you don't realize it until you're like in your 30s or 40s, doesn't change the fact that you were always whatever that was. So I'm just like, there was a couple of things in there that were even with the character that was lesbian that also just didn't match up with what people in the LGBTQ plus community have been saying. And it kind of tries to negate some of the issues where he like kind of knows what's like socially acceptable to say, but at the same time he shoves his foot in his mouth by trying to point things out and then also getting stuff wrong. It's just, it was very weird. So I was like, not for me, not this one, no thanks. It was very clearly a straight man fantasizing about a straight woman having a sexual experience with a lesbian. That's how it read. Another reviewer pointed out the same thing, and I was like, I couldn't have said it better. So, oh my. Yeah, so that was that story. I would not recommend that if you're just looking for a good, like, lesbian romance, erotica, whatever. I would not recommend. Oh, man. Then we have The Bridge of Snow by Marie Rakotsky. And so I really enjoyed the Winter's Curse series. It was awesome, but I did not like this short story at all. It was kind of like a fable or fairy tale, whatever you want to call it. And when the fairy tales are not like the magical Disney princess type, doesn't have like that kind of magic, and it's just kind of like really out there and more, I want to say like literary, like, I don't know, like very, like it read like a mythology, not a fairy tale. And so I don't like the mythology origin stories because a lot of times they don't make sense. And then with this one, not only did the story itself not make sense, but neither did the moral. I was like, what is the moral supposed to be? Don't forget to pray? Like, I don't know, because that's the only thing that was said, but I don't think that's the actual parable didn't really have much to do with that. So I was like, huh? I was just, oh my gosh. I don't like it when people are like overly, they put a lot of imagery into something, but what they're doing, even though there's nothing like flawed about the writing style or even necessarily the idea, I just don't get it. And if I don't get it, I don't like it. So it went over my head, basically. And then we've got Spy X Family Volume 4, and oh my gosh, was this one cute. So Anya finally gets a dog, and the dog was being trained to like, was being trained for like the spy services or whatever, and then some terrorist got the dogs and wanted to like put bombs on them to like do terrorism. And so yeah, there was that. And then you also got to see, of course, Lloyd and Yuri or Yor, whatever. I keep getting her and her brother's names confused because they're only like 2 letters different, and I just hard to keep straight. But anyway, so yeah, you get to see them, and they're just becoming such a cute little family. And so the dog actually has the ability to see into the future. And Anya, of course, can read minds, so she can read the dog's mind, and then they kind of like go on a mission to save Lloyd. That's all I can really tell you without a bunch of spoilers, but it is the 4th story. So, yeah. Yuri also like is trying to learn how to cook. So that was cute. It was a really cute volume. But yeah, I liked it. This is like legitimately like an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours at this point that I've been trying to talk about this book because I hate the side character so much because of his personality, and it's a personality that is prevalent. It is prevalent in our world. We are all familiar with these people, and I don't like them. And so I don't like this character.
No, 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 no. So anyway, the book is called Love at First Spray, and this is about a guy who is given this big long list by his boyfriend to go get all this stuff on that list, the Christmas list or whatever, for his presents. And if he doesn't receive every single gift on that list, he's going to throw a little hissy fit because he feels like he is entitled to it. He is demanding, selfish. He doesn't place any value on the relationship other than what he can get from the other person through monetary means. He's a gold digger, basically. Even though he probably has more money, he's still like a succubus, and he just wants to get all the value he can out of this other person and gives nothing back in return. He's a succubus. So, yeah, I don't like that character at all, and I felt like Simon deserves so much more. The fact that this guy put $500 worth of stuff on his Christmas list and just expected that the other person had the financial means to be able to get all of those things, and the guy did not have the financial means to do so, but did so anyway because he was insecure in the relationship, because this guy's made him to feel this way, because he doesn't value the relationship. That whole equation of money equals love is just wrong. Throw it out the window, because people are only going to stay insecure for so long before they wise up and discover their worth and throw you out the door. Yeah. All right. Yes. That's all I have to say about this book. The message that the book gives is wise up, people. You are worth more than a crappy, selfish boyfriend. And I love that message. How would you spread that message? So yeah, that's all I'm going to say for today. That was my 24 books in 24 days that I completed in 11 days and brought myself to 201 books read. One of those was a DNF, so technically it's 200 books read. Yay me. I accomplished the goal. I also finished my alphabet challenge. So yay. That's all I have for you. Thanks for watching. Some of y'all are not going to like how direct I just was and unsubscribe, and you know what? So be it. I'm tired of filtering. I'm just going to say what's on my mind from now on, and if you don't like it, I just don't care. My therapist says they won't all be diamonds. I'm just like, okay. Oh. Bye.